What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. I am your host, Dapper Data, and today we are going to talk about something that everybody in the world is talking about these days: crypto, currency, blockchain, right? Those buzzwords that we hear, right? We're going to also tie it into some digital marketing as well, right? We're going to have a little bit of fun. And I brought a special guest on. I'll introduce the special guest in a little bit. But as you know, today's society has grown to be highly digitalized, right? Where technologies are playing a large role in everyone's life. And moreover, society is still developing at a rapid pace with a new innovation around every corner, right? And so you have crypto wallet, right? You're going to hear about this, right? We're going to educate you all on this and how data plays a big part in that. And when you think blockchain, okay, probably everybody in the world has heard blockchain by now. But if you think about blockchain, right, if you look up the definition of it, it talks about how it is a shared immutable ledger that facilitates the process of recording transactions and tracking assets in a business network. Okay, so really let that sink in. Okay, and we're going to dive into a little bit differently and figure out how blockchain plays a big part in the digital marketing space. Okay, so now let's get into this guest, right? This very knowledgeable, this very smart, very intelligent guest that we have on on the call. So I want to introduce you all to Vanina Ivanova. Okay, this woman right here is an amazing woman. Vanina has more than 15 years of experience in advertising and online marketing. She has ran and managed huge digital marketing projects in the fintech industry. Okay, and has been a part of the team of a major cloud storage provider. And I probably want to know who that is. Okay, so we will talk about. But in the past 5 years, Benita has been running the marketing growth and sales team at AdX Network. AdX is a blockchain powered system that is bringing full transparency to the digital marketing space. So we're definitely going to dive into that and talk about how those two play together. All right. So Vanina, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be and an honor to be a guest on the podcast. I recently subscribed and now I'm a big fan. Um,
Ooh.
uh, yeah. As you mentioned, I've been in digital marketing and in traditional marketing for about a little over 15 years, I think, or maybe even more. I don't like to think about those things and about me aging. uh,
Oh.
yeah. But I've always gravitated towards technology-driven companies because this is something that excites me. This is what keeps it interesting for me. The cloud storage provider that I used to work for is called P Cloud,
Mm,
and it's a platform developed here in Bulgaria, where I'm based in Eastern Europe. But it's a fantastic alternative to Dropbox or Mega or any other cloud storage service that you have
oh,
on the market
nice.
in terms of privacy, in terms of technology. And I haven't worked for the company for a long time now, but I am still. We used to say that there are no former peak clouders when I used to work there, and that's very true. So yeah, that's the cloud storage provider that I used to work for. But after that, I was introduced to the ADX network team. That was the name of the company back then. Today we're called Ambire. We recently, a few months ago, we rebranded because we launched a new flagship product. And when we launched about 6 years ago, ADX Network made sense because back then we were only working on a single product that was an ad exchange, basically a blockchain based ad network. So AdX Network made a lot of sense in terms of branding. But now that we have branched into DeFi and crypto wallets, it made sense to rebrand. And now we're called Ambire. We still have the ad network. It's called Ambire AdX now. And we're also working on Ambire Wallet, a new generation smart cryptocurrency wallet that is it's so exciting, at least to me. I know that I'm very
Mm.
biased, but we're creating wonderful product, and this is what I have been doing recently together with the Ambire team.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting the audience know the moves that you're making, in this world. of cryptocurrency and blockchain. I really want to dive into this Ambire wallet, right? When you mentioned that, right, I did research on my own, and I thought this was an amazing solution, right, an amazing product, and I thought that the world needed to know about this, right? The audience needed to hear about this because if you don't know about cryptocurrency these days, right, you're far behind the curve, right? If you haven't even heard the word cryptocurrency, then I don't know where you have been at in your house, right? So it's everywhere. It's on the news, it's on your phone, everywhere you go, even if you're not investing in it, it's there. Now, understanding it is a different story, right? Understanding how it really works, right, is very difficult for some people to grasp that. And getting into the wallet part of things, right? The crypto wallet features and stuff. What does Ambire Wallet bring? What is it? What is it? What is it doing, right, to solve, different problems in the world and stuff?
Right. If you allow me to take a step back and kind of
Hmm.
build upon what you just said, it is very hard to understand blockchain and crypto. Sometimes there's a very steep learning curve, and here I have a little bit of a like anthropological, sorry,
Hmm.
observation. Um, our generation is a lot more tech savvy, and I'm a millennial, so I'm one of those people who were not born with this technology that we have today, but got it at a relatively early age and learned how to use it relatively quickly. But think about our parents and their generation. We may joke and call them boomers, but they are people who are available on the market and they have money to spend. So
Right,
we
that's
have to
true.
so we have to consider them. We have to consider them, yeah, when we build and create products. And this is a generation that grew up using no technology at all. The most complex tool that they would use was perhaps a calculator or
Hmm.
a rotary phone. So imagine living a life in which you have to jump from a calculator to a desktop computer to a smartphone or a portable
Mm.
computer to blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Oh man.
It's a very big shift, right? I can
Yeah.
kind of understand people who don't quite understand crypto and blockchain because it is complicated on its own, and it
Hmm.
gets even more complicated when you have lived your life brain wired not to use technology,
Hmm.
and maybe not to even trust it in some cases. So I can understand people's hesitation not to touch crypto, even though, as you said, it's all over the place. You
Hmm.
open, like, you switch on the TV, there's crypto. You open your laptop, crypto. You open the fridge, crypto. So
You're right.
everybody's
Exactly.
talking about, exactly, everybody's talking
Yeah.
about crypto and blockchain. Legislators and governments are beginning to look into it as well, which is a major indication about adoption. So I can understand why some people are hesitant, but they shouldn't really be. And I'm glad that there are podcasts like yours, and there are media outlets that help people understand that crypto is actually a lot more accessible than people may think it is.
Hmm.
Um, and then with this sort of like derailing the conversation a little bit, I think
Oh
it's
no,
time to
no.
go back to Ambire Wallet, and give you a little nugget about our company history. Everything that we do at Ambire, we do out of passion and we do out of necessity. We see a problem, we try to find a solution, because we're not
Hmm.
going to reinvent the wheel. It has already been invented.
Right.
But so if we try and find a solution that works for us, then that's great. We're going to use this tool. But if there isn't one, we're just going to create it. And that's how we started with the AdX network. That's the history of the ad network that we have. We were looking to monetize a different product of ours, a video streaming platform, and tried various traditional advertising networks. And we realized very quickly that they were all giving us doctored reports. They were providing us with fake data about our traffic, about our revenue,
Hmm.
and they were spoiling the user experience of people. So we decided that, hey, this is not going to work. If that's not going to work, we should create our own ad network.
Mhm.
And we started looking into the different problems. Like we started from identifying the biggest problems of existing networks, and then finding the technology that would help us solve those problems. And that's where blockchain comes in. This is how we decided to use. Before that, we hadn't built on blockchain. We hadn't used it, but it seemed like a very, very good opportunity for us to solve the biggest problem that we saw with the advertising industry, with the ad tech industry in general, and that was the lack of accountability and the lack of transparency and centralized reporting.
Mm,
So this is what blockchain gave us. Blockchain gave us the transparency that we felt had to be reintroduced back to the advertising supply chain management, and we started building on blockchain. And then being a group of blockchain builders, being a company that works with crypto every single day, both on a company and also on an individual level, all of us use crypto in our everyday life. We quickly realized that existing cryptocurrency wallets were not ideal. There was a lot to be desired,
mm,
especially when it came to user experience, to UIs, to the way data is visualized and presented to the end user.
mhm.
Crypto wallets are confusing. Crypto wallets are confusing. If you are a crypto, and you said that you are a crypto user yourself,
Yeah, and
and you've probably used different wallets like MetaMask, for example, which is the industry
right.
standard right now when it comes to hot wallets, or even Trezor and Ledger that are again the industry
Mhm.
standard for hardware wallets and for cold storage.
And
There
they're still
is
confusing.
so They are so confusing. I have been in the industry for like 6 years,
Mhm.
and I consider myself, one of the OGs in crypto.
Mhm.
And I still have issues with MetaMask. I still have anxiety when I'm signing a transaction because I never know what I'm signing. I still have
Yeah.
anxiety when I get a weird error message and I need somebody to help me
Mhm.
decode that message and figure out what that means. And I still have to I don't know, go and tweak gas prices and remember not to touch the gas limit if I
Yeah.
want my transactions to pass through. And then yeah, all this is confusing. And I am in crypto. Imagine giving MetaMask to somebody who's just getting started with crypto
Oh
and
my
blockchain.
goodness. They wouldn't
They would be
even
so
touch
lost.
the wallet.
Exactly, exactly. They would be so lost. So then we saw an influx of mobile friendly apps, mostly powered by different crypto exchanges, like, for example, Coinbase, um, seeing that niche in the market and filling it to a certain extent. But again, these mobile first apps leave a lot to be desired, again, in terms of interface and human friendliness, so to say. So this is how we decided to build Ambire. This is how we came up with the idea of creating a crypto wallet that is truly human readable, that is insanely good both for newbies and for beginners and for people who are experienced and people who are looking for something that gives them security, ease of use, and is compatible with all the decentralized apps that they use on a daily basis. So that's how Ambire Wallet was born. And because I mentioned newbies, obviously we're developing a wallet that is mostly suitable for mid-size to crypto users to whales. But
Mhm.
we also wanted to keep beginners in mind, and create a truly universal tool. We created our non-custodial wallet with the possibility of signing up with email and password, because adoption and onboarding are a big thing in marketing, as you probably know better than I do.
Yeah.
And we wanted people to be able to get started in a couple of clicks and not have to remember a seed phrase, because seed phrases are one of the things that really frustrates us a lot. And losing a seed phrase and the possibility of losing all of your funds when you're
Mhm.
not able to recover an account, this is scary to us.
Yeah.
So
And what you're doing is bringing comfort, right? And if you're bringing comfort to an end user that's new, that comes in, and they know that the process to even implement your solution is easy, and it makes them feel comfortable, right? That's true marketing right there. That that a person can come in. If I feel at home, I feel comfortable within a product. It honestly, it could have some flaws that I don't even care about, right? Because I now know that at the end of the day is I can understand the flaws. I can understand where my money is, right? The easier you make things as far as a process, the more comfortable they'll be, right, with the entire
Exactly,
solution.
exactly.
That's a great point.
We bring people that sense of familiarity, that that feeling of, hey, this is something that I have seen before, this type of registration, and I know how to go through it. It's easy,
Hmm.
it's familiar to me. And then on top of that, there's the added bonus of being able to recover your account if you lose your password
Hmm.
or you lose access to your email for some reason, because this is something that traditional crypto wallets do not allow. You lose your seed phrase, you're done, that's it, the money's lost. You can consider your crypto assets burned. And
Yeah,
this is the one
yeah.
thing that I think that this is the one thing that confuses beginners in crypto the most. What do you mean I can't recover my account? Like, what do you mean there's no like reset password link? There
Oh
should
my
be a
goodness.
password reset link, right? No, there isn't. That's not
Right,
how
right.
blockchain
I think
works.
where's the forgot
Yeah,
password button at? So I can.
exactly, exactly. So to a lot of people, this is very off-putting. Imagine you want to put your retirement investment into crypto and you're facing a wallet that does not allow you to recover your account in case you lose your seed phrase. And if we're speaking
Hmm.
about retirement, you're probably having memory issues already, right? So, losing the seed phrase is a real
Hmm.
possibility. No, that
Yep.
was a boomer joke. Sorry about
No,
that.
no,
But
no.
yeah.
It's true though. It's true, and it's important to understand. I mean, when we think about crypto wallets, right? It's a revolutionary concept that is already changing the world, right? And when stuff changes in the world, if it's going too, it's almost going too fast for us to keep up,
Yeah.
right? The changes, and so
Yeah.
you're taking it a step back and saying, look, I'm not going to forget about you all who we've already passed in the crypto world, right? I'm going to bring you all back along, and we're going to show you how we're solving some of the problems like lack of security, right? Or
Yeah.
things are not like volatile, right? Or unreliable rate of transactions and things like that. Those problems that you see, you're educating them, but you're also providing that comfort to say, look, I know that, like, I'm going to bring you along the way and still help educate you on how to I guess the novice to be comfortable with this solution, you know. So that's
Exactly,
good.
exactly, and not just for again, not just for novices. You mentioned something that made me think of a feature at Ambire that we have, because it's a smart wallet, and a smart wallet means that every single account created with Ambire is basically a smart contract of its own, and this
Mm,
allows us to do so much more than a traditional non-smart wallet. And one of the things, for example, that we can do with Ambire is transaction simulations. So when you initiate a transaction, especially if you're doing a chain of transactions, which is something again that most wallets do not support, but in Ambire you can batch your transactions together and
ooh,
execute multiple transactions with a single signature, which first of all optimizes your time, second of all optimizes your gas fees and
mm-hmm,
transaction costs. When you do that, and when you queue a few transactions after each other, Amber Wallet would do a simulation for you. And if
mm-hmm.
one of the transactions would fail for some reason, it would tell you, hey, one of the transactions is going to fail. This is the one that's going to fail. Would you like to
Oh my
remove it from
goodness.
this batch to make sure that the whole batch is processed? Which is insane. I know. I mean,
That is
I am again.
crazy.
I apologize. I apologize to the listeners of this podcast. I am very, very biased when it comes to Ambire. I love this product more than I would love my firstborn when I have it, I guess. Uh,
Uh-huh.
But this is something that you haven't seen, and perhaps will not see for a while in any other crypto wallet. And it is insanely efficient. It's insanely, and again, it's familiar because we're used to that process. Whenever we are using non-crypto software tools,
Hmm.
we're used to, and we're batching actions together. You are used to getting a notification, hey, this is going to fail, and then the whole batch is going to fail. Would you like to start over, or would you like to remove it from the queue? So
Oh
this is
my goodness.
something, again, that is, first of all, insanely useful, and second of all, this is something that is very familiar to people, and makes them feel comfortable with it, and that's the way it should be. We should be comfortable when we're dealing with
Yeah.
our own financial assets, whether they're crypto or traditional
Yeah,
fiat
you're allowing
currency.
the user to know exactly what's going on with their stuff, you know,
Exactly. Yeah, we're
and that's
basically
important.
we're putting the explanation on top. We're bringing that explanation to the user, and we're putting it on top. We're telling people
Right.
right now, instead of, again, I mentioned that, and it frustrates me so much when I sign a transaction in MetaMask, for example, and I don't know
Hmm.
what I'm signing and what I'm doing. In Ambire Wallet, you get a message that tells you you are, for example, swapping this cryptocurrency for that cryptocurrency, or you are sending this amount of that cryptocurrency to that person from your address book, or you're sending money to an address that is not in your address book. Would you like to verify that address,
Hmm.
just to make sure you're not sending it to some scam address or to someone else? And because the transaction is not reversible.
Hmm.
And these are the little details that pile up together, and when they add up, at the end of the day, you have a product that is superior to any other product on the market. Yeah, and again, I apologize for for
It
shilling
sounds biased, but I
Embarrassed.
definitely think that when the audience hears this, they're going to understand, man, well, the features that I currently use with my crypto wallets don't give me this, right? And they're going to be able to compare, and so that's good, right? It's like, it's one of those things, hey, look, see it for yourself, right? It's not all hype.
Right.
You're really telling them, these are some great features. And, it's revolutionary, right? It's changing the world, changing the game, right? So.
I like to think that we are basically revamping the whole crypto wallet game, and I like to think that we're setting new standards for UX and for usability. We're just making crypto accessible, and we believe that this is the way to onboard the next 1 billion people to crypto, because yeah, as you said, everybody has heard about it. Not everybody has gotten their hands dirty, so to say, with
Yeah.
crypto, by purchasing the crypto. And it could be confusing, it could be scary a little bit to people when they don't know the technology, when they don't quite understand the economical principles behind it. So yeah, it's up to us blockchain builders to bring people to blockchain and to empower them with the ability to use crypto in their everyday life. uh, we
Yeah.
can't really we can't really expect people to go and read white papers and understand how it all started, and
Right.
start with the blockchain white paper and be confused for days after that.
Right, right, and read it
um
about 100 times, and you're like, I'm still confused.
exactly, exactly.
YouTube
So
videos
we,
are
we need
confusing. It doesn't matter. All of it's
this is that
confusing.
that's absolutely, that complexity is for us builders to solve, not for people to experience.
Right,
What
right.
end users should have in their hands is a product that, first of all, looks great. Second of all, feels familiar and feels safe and secure, because it is safe and secure. And third of all, makes the experience enjoyable, just enjoyable. Using crypto should not be frustrating. It should be easy. It should be fast. It should be efficient, and it shouldn't make people anxious or scary. And that's what we're doing with Ambire. And it's the wallet is packed with so many features that I'd really encourage anyone who's into crypto or looking to get into crypto to go and check it out. It's insanely good. You can sign up in just a couple of clicks, literally, and even if you don't have any crypto already, you can buy your first crypto within Ambire Wallet with a credit card,
Mm.
for example.
Oh,
We yeah
nice.
we have yeah yeah we have integrated on-ramp partners, so you can literally. get started with Ambire and stay within Ambire for the rest of your life.
Oh man, that's nice. So I wanna shift a little bit, right? We talked about blockchain, we talked about Umpire, and I think that those are, I mean, I think the solution, the product is amazing, right? And I want to talk about marketing and how data plays a big role in that, right? But really, I really want to jump to like combining or correlating blockchain and marketing, right? I'm starting to see in digital marketing that blockchain plays a big role. And when you think about it, blockchain is really forming a direct interaction between consumers and brands. If you really, really sit down and
Absolutely.
think about it. And I don't really see a con in blockchain. I mean, maybe you might have it, but I, but I see all pros, right? And maybe I'm being biased towards that. I don't know. But blockchain technology is eliminating that middleman, using smart contracts, right? Like you said,
Absolutely.
instead of paying a burden to the middleman like Google or something like that, or Facebook, or other big name companies, right? And so understanding those pros, right? When I think about blockchain marketing, you think about trustworthiness, right? You think about, I don't know, like preventing frauds, you name it. How do you see blockchain and marketing correlating or intertwining, between each other?
Right, right. Well, when you say blockchain, most people think about cryptocurrency and financial instruments and decentralized finance or DeFi.
Hmm.
But the truth is that blockchain has applications within so many different areas of life. For
Hmm.
example, supply chain management, health records management, insurance, even the travel industry and hotel booking industry can benefit from blockchain because it's immutable. And when it comes to marketing, yeah, there's a problem with the ad sales supply chain because I've been in the role of the digital marketing director for years, the person who is literally pouring amounts of money into a certain ad network, getting back some output, but still dealing with a black box, because even when you get the information from Google or Facebook or any other ad network that you're using, if you are a smart and savvy marketer, you will not rely on this data alone. You would
Hmm.
have your internal reporting system that will help you cross-reference the data, and you would like to sit and crunch the numbers and see. I don't know, maybe because I'm East European, I'm naturally suspicious. But when I mean, when Google tells me you had so many clicks, I don't quite trust Google. I like to verify.
Right, right,
Trust but verify.
right.
Um, and this has happened to me a lot, especially in the fintech industry, where first of all budgets are huge. Second of all, cost per click and per acquisition are through the roof. So when you're pouring
Hmm.
all that money, you kind of want to know what's happening and where is your money going and how you can
Right.
redirect this money in a more efficient way. But when you contact your account manager in Google, if you're lucky enough to have one and be able
Hmm.
to get in touch with them, the answer that you usually get is, "Oh, did you set your pixel right? Or did you set up Tag
Yeah.
Manager? Did you set your events right? You're probably not tracking the right events." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Whatever events I'm tracking, you're telling me I've got so many visits and so many clicks, and I don't
Hmm.
have the customers logged in into my system, right?"
Yeah.
So something is broken along the way,
Right.
and I think that this is where blockchain comes in. When you use blockchain to manage ad inventory sales, you have the accountability that you don't have with centralized networks. You have the transparency that you need, and that is not. I mean, that's not always the case with blockchain ad networks right now and with ad tech, because a lot of and sadly the reason for that is that a lot of existing ad networks would tell you they are a blockchain or a crypto ad network, and what they mean by that is either that they serve the crypto industry and they serve crypto clients, or they accept payments in crypto, but not a lot of them use the actual technology for their advertising engines. And I think that this is where blockchain has the biggest benefit, and this is what we do with Ambire ADEX. Um, what we do, for example, is we translate each and every ad impression on the network to
Hmm.
a micropayment on Ethereum, on the Ethereum blockchain. So,
Oh.
given that every impression is a micropayment, it is written on the blockchain. We do
Mm.
consolidate them to save on fees, obviously, and to make the network more scalable and more efficient. But because every impression is a payment and it is written on the blockchain, if you want, obviously, we provide you the reporting within your ad account. But if you want to verify this data and make sure that we're not giving you incorrect information,
Hmm.
then you can do that. You can, as
Yeah.
long as you know how to read the blockchain, and even when you don't know how to read the blockchain, we can still help you and give you pointers and tell you where to look and how to look so that you're able to read this data and make sure that, yes, you have not been paying to reach a non existing audience, or you haven't been paying clickbots,
Hmm.
or you haven't been a subject to ad fraud, which happens so often that it's insane. So I think that this is one of the reasons that the market opened up a niche for us to kind of sweep in, like
Hmm. Hmm.
just find our spot there and build what we're building. And I think that this is a market that has been underexplored, so to say. I
Yeah.
think that a lot more ad tech companies should look into blockchain as a technology that can help them serve their clients better, serve their advertisers and their publishers in a more meaningful way. And I think that this is the one thing that, yeah, that matters the most when you are a marketing manager with a budget that needs to be spent in an optimal way, right? And also when you are a publisher that needs to monetize their traffic in a certain way. I think that yeah, it really matters. And then at the end of the day, all this is done through a smart contract, so you don't have an intermediary, you don't have a middleman, you're not paying anybody any
Right.
fees. The only fees that you're paying basically are the fees on the blockchain, like the network fees, which
Hmm.
are unavoidable at this point, but they're not as significant as traditional ad network fees are. As you know, Google, for example, gets a cut of up to 30%. What they claim, what I've noticed,
Ooh.
it's actually closer to 40%. 38 to 40% is the cut
Oh
that they
my
take from
goodness.
publishers, and these are the hidden fees that advertisers pay and not even know that they pay them.
Man.
And it is in your contract. It is in your contract,
It
but
is in
it
there.
is
We don't read
hidden so.
that.
No, no, no. I mean, I read contracts. I'm one of those crazy people who
Yeah.
reads contracts,
Uh-huh.
but it is hidden so deep that you don't really see it unless you start digging deep. So once
Hmm.
you start digging, and then again, I've been lucky enough to work for projects with budgets large enough to have my own account manager at Google.
Hmm.
And I have half-mouthedly gotten the answer. Well, the missing 30% of your budget is actually what we take in fees. Oh, do you
Hmm.
now? So, it happens. It happens
Right.
all the time, every day in traditional ad networks. So I think this is where blockchain comes in. It helps you. First of all, it helps you bring transparency back to the table. It helps you optimize the cost, and overall it brings the trust back to that market, because right now so many companies are wary and they don't want to, like, they know that they need to do digital marketing in order to be successful, especially if we're talking about retail and e-commerce, but they kind of don't want to do it because they know that it's a bottomless pit where the money goes and disappears, and there's this black box when it comes to their ad spend. And then on the other hand, suddenly there is no black box when it comes to tracking consumer habits and invading user privacy and gathering all that data that is able to predict purchases of a particular individual based on their past purchasing history and past internet behavior. And at a certain point, it is scary because on the one hand, you're not getting the returns that you should be getting, and then on the other hand, you are doing what you're doing at the cost of user privacy. So you are
Yeah,
basically you're victimizing your end users instead of nurturing them. You are grabbing their data and giving it to the ad network, whether willingly or not. And I think that this is something that has been a problem within the ad tech industry for a very long time now. And I think it's time that we kind of get out of this habit of invading user privacy and profiling, and
absolutely.
bringing working together to achieve an internet where people don't actually hate ads, they trust
Yeah.
them, and they are happy to see them instead of using an ad blocker, because ultimately this will lead to just a better internet altogether.
Right, right. Oh my goodness. I mean, you just really broke down the absolute pros, right, for blockchain, and how Ambire is really helping out, and also how it really plays into the marketing space, right? We talk about removing that middleman like Google and like Facebook, right? Understanding that your data is not stolen or sold, right? I mean, it's huge benefits out there. So, I really appreciate that. And audience, as you know, what I like to do is I like to end with what I call a dope nugget, dope gem, right? A summarization of what I've learned today. And what I've learned is that you need to go to Ambire, right? If anything. No,
Absolutely,
no, you
absolutely.
need
If
to go to
there's one
Ambire.
takeaway, that's the one
you know,
takeaway. Go and use Ambire Addicts and Ambire Wallet, and
Right, right. No,
uh,
but seriously though, I mean, the way that the world is becoming, this cryptocurrency world, this blockchain world, understanding and educating yourself on that is key. But getting something that makes you feel at home, right? Getting into something that makes you feel like, okay, you're not running away from it because you're scared, that you're going to lose your money, or you're scared that somebody's going to hack into your stuff, right? There's benefits to blockchain, as we talked about today, right? You have security, transparency. You have, as I mentioned, your data is neither sold or stolen, right? You're preventing frauds, right? Companies out there that want to prevent frauds, there you go. Users that want to prevent frauds, there you go. You're completely eliminating that middleman, and you're strengthening monetization of the content itself, right? You're strengthening that. And so, I just want to leave you with that. And also, I mean, something that I took away that's very, very I don't know if everybody else heard this, that simplicity, right? It's key. Simplicity
absolutely.
to something that is complex will bring more people, right? That's that's marketing 101, honestly. It seems like, and you're bringing that with blockchain. So, Vanina, is there anything that you want to share with the audience as a last um, observation?
Well, if I have to, to leave a sound bit, if you wish, I would like to ask people not to be afraid to ask back for their privacy and their data, and for advertisers and publishers not to be afraid to ask back for accountability
Mm,
and transparency, so that we all achieve a much cleaner web
mhm.
that we can live in. Because if there's something that the last couple of years showed us for sure, it's that we're going to be living online a lot more than we ever imagined in the
Yeah,
future. Um, so
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, let's make the work of the future digital archaeologists easy, and use blockchain and immutable data.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And now it is time for the fun part. All right, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Everybody knows the game that I like to play. It is called Overrated, Underrated. Shout out to Gary V, motivational speaker that I follow. And what I do is I will ask, or I will throw out a series of topics, right? 7 to 10 topics maybe, and you get to decide whether you believe it's overrated, underrated, or right where it needs to be. All right, are you ready for the game?
I am ready. Actually, looking forward it a lot.
Okay, all right. First one, napping.
Oh my God, napping is so underrated. So literally so underrated. Just before we got on this podcast, I pinged my sister, who is a mom to a newborn. My nephew
Uh-huh.
is 3.5 months old. And I asked her, "Hey, how's the baby doing?" She said he's been napping for 3 hours now.
Oh
And the only
man.
thing, and the only thing I could think of was, I am so jealous of this tiny
Yeah.
human. I love napping. I think napping is amazing. Back then, when we were working at an office, we did purchase a very comfortable couch for napping, and we
Oh
like
my
to joke that
goodness.
we have an open nap policy in the company, because a 15 to 20 minute nap is something that can recharge you beyond belief.
Yes.
I love power naps. This is what I survive on coffee and power naps.
Yeah.
um and I think that napping is so underrated. And honestly, I am so annoyed at little children who don't want to nap. Why don't you want
Oh
to do
my
that? This
goodness.
is
It's
your
like,
chance to do it. Like, just do it.
yeah,
It's your chance. You don't have any responsibility. You don't have to go to work. You don't have a meeting or a Zoom call. Just take a nap.
take a nap.
But yeah, napping.
They want to take a nap, but they're like so infatuated with the world and what's going on. For some reason, they decide to cry about it and not take this nap, right? And I'm a big fan of naps, right? And I actually take naps not because I want to. I'm like forced to take a nap, right? If I see a bed or if I'm like in a car in an Uber or something, or wherever it is, I'll just fall asleep because I'm catching up on so many things. But that nap, you ever had that nap where it was only like 15 minutes and it felt like you went into the next day, right? That real serious nap.
Absolutely.
That's the best nap
Absolutely.
ever.
These are, oh my God, these are amazing. And seeing a couch and having 15 minutes
Hmm.
disposable in your hands and not taking a nap is just a wasted opportunity. Like, I mean, seriously,
Exactly.
I know that we're basically raised to believe that we should be overperforming and being active every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
moment of our waking life. No, we need to take naps to recharge and to
Hmm.
regain and like become more creative, and sometimes even to just clear our heads and prepare for an important meeting. Naps are so underrated. People, take more naps, please. This is going to make people so much calmer and so much more enjoyable.
All right. You're right. You're right. All right. Next one. Sunny beach in Bulgaria.
Oh, oh, yeah, that is very overrated.
It
Very,
is? Oh
very
my goodness.
overrated. Oh my God.
I'm looking at
I
the
remember
pictures. I'm like,
the
this looks so beautiful. I have to go, but it's overrated.
these are directed pictures. These have been taken
Oh
with
yeah,
professional,
Photoshop.
stage managers, so to say. No, I remember, the Bulgarian seaside is beautiful. It's amazing. We have lovely beaches. The trouble with our tourist industry, and especially with Sunny Beach, is that I remember it when I was a kid. There were a couple of hotels, and a lot of vast space and huge, lovely beaches. And today it has been, it's, you can basically um, handshake with somebody staying at the hotel next door. This is how
Hmm.
close hotels are built next to each other.
Oh
So
my goodness.
the space is basically running. Yeah, it's becoming a concrete jungle, and it's running out of
Hmm.
space. And obviously, when you have so many hotels that are full at capacity every summer, because we have really nice weather here, then the beaches are overcrowded, and it's just not enjoyable. It's not nice anymore. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I vacation in Spain because
Oh, nice,
I like to have a little bit of space around me. So I usually vacation in Spain or in Greece. But yeah, Sunny Beach is very overrated. Also, service so bad. You go to restaurants and bars, and the wait staff is annoyed that you're there to spoil their evening, and
nice.
pouring money into that whole industry, and make sure that they get paid at the end of the evening. So this is something else that I don't quite appreciate. Then, on the other hand, very lax rules for underage drinking. So this brings
Oh.
a lot of Brits and yeah, a lot of tourists from Western Europe to to the place. I mean, if I suppose that if I were 16 and looking to get wasted and have a good time, Sunny Beach would be a great place. But in my mid 30s, I would much rather go to Spain.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Would I'm still going to make that trip, and definitely see it out because the pictures, I don't know, they're so beautiful. It just changes me. But all right, so next, the printer.
The printer. We, um, I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to answer that because I mean, uh, uh, at the end of the day, the result that you get by being able to print pictures and words on paper without actually having to type them on a typewriter, I suppose it's great. But then on the other hand, printers, I don't know if you've seen that tweet. It was very popular and I loved it. When Rage Against the Machine chose their name, they didn't specify which machine they're raging against, but it surely was a printer, right? Because have you noticed how printers, like, you never have that problem with your microwave or with your smartphone or with any other piece of technology that you use on a daily basis?
Yeah,
But printers, they have a mind of their own. It's like,
yeah,
I have been printing for you every single day on this network with the same settings, and things have gone great. But today, for some reason, I will not print, and you will
yeah.
restart your computer and you will switch networks and you will switch me off and on again, and then you will
Uh-huh,
reconnect to your computer and maybe you will reconfigure my settings, and I will still not print. And then
uh-huh.
this will continue for 3 days, and in 3 days I will randomly start printing again, but
Mhm.
only for your computer. Nobody else on this network will be able to print, right? I imagine this is what the internal monologue of a printer would be if they
Uh-huh.
were animate objects.
Right,
So I
right.
think that, yeah, to be honest, because they get a lot of points for printing, and then
Mhm.
they lose a lot of points for being
We're not
so
working.
yeah. So I don't know,
Yeah.
with a mind
No,
of their own. So I would say that they're just where they need to be.
yeah, I don't know. I think they're overrated. I'm like, who uses a printer anymore? But at the same time, like I just switched to a new job and and they for some reason make me print, right? Things out and I have to sign stuff. And I'm like, there's no digital signature here. I gotta print this out. So, I have a printer for people like that, right? For companies like that who say, look, you must print this out, you must get this notarized. And I mean, stuff just needs to transfer to digital, somehow because I cannot take it anymore.
Yeah, but then how do you print out your memes to stick in your cubicle?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But like, no, seriously, on a more serious note, yeah, we are a very paperless office,
Mhm.
and we always struggle to find a pen when we need to sign something.
Yeah.
But the Bulgarian labor legislation, for example, requires us to keep so many paperwork that is
Oh.
literally printed. So there's still, and again, yeah, as you said, it could be digitized. It could be, but
Mhm.
will it be? No, no, it's not going to be,
Yeah.
uh, because
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
So the printer is useful, but yeah, for our for our administrative stuff, the rest of us just use the printer to just print out memes, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
We don't really print a lot of stuff because again, yeah, it's digital. You have a
Mhm.
phone, right? You have a screen. Why do you need to print something that you can just sign on your screen?
Right. Right. Absolutely. All right. One more thing, right? And I hope I say this right. The Banitsa.
Oof. It's pronounced Banita.
Banita. Okay. Okay.
Banita, yes,
Banita.
Banita, and
Okay. And
it
if they don't know
sounds
what this is, right? This is a tasty dish. It's a traditional Bulgarian pastry made by
right.
layering a combination of beaten eggs and bits of cheese amongst the pastry, supposedly, right? So I looked at, it, I said, best food. I have to figure out what it is, and that's what came up, right?
Okay, I love banitsa. I love banitsa because yeah, as you said, it's basically a baked good that is filo pastry, and
Uh-huh.
in between the different layers of filo pastry, you put this filling of beaten eggs and Bulgarian feta cheese,
Hmm.
and then you bake it and you put a little bit of butter on top of it, and then you bake it, and you can eat it hot and you can eat it cold, and you can
Mm.
eat it for breakfast, or you can eat
You
it
sound
for
like you
dinner,
make them
or
on
you
your
can.
own.
It is amazing. I mean, even the store-bought ones are great. The homemade
Uh,
ones, even better. It is not very hard to make, honestly, as long as you can
okay.
get your hands on filo pastry. Because I know that it's not like here in Bulgaria, you can buy filo pastry like everywhere. I know
Hmm.
that in different countries, it's not that popular, so you have to go to like I don't know the Greek store to find filo pastry
Uh,
because Greeks use that a lot as well. But it is a very typical traditional Bulgarian dish, which is amazing, and that's actually my brother-in-law is not Bulgarian, and that's one of his favorite things, especially
oh
on New
man.
Year's. Whenever we're
Hmm.
celebrating, because there's this, being a traditional dish, it's obviously incorporated in different rituals and traditions. So a tradition that we have in Bulgaria is on New Year's Eve, well, on New Year's Day, I suppose, New Year's morning, the
Hmm.
family gets together, or you get together with friends, and you have you cut together the banitsa. It's usually baked in a round dish, so you cut the banitsa and you take a piece, and in the piece you find a little piece of paper wrapped in tin foil, and on the paper is kind of like we call them like wishes. I don't know how to
Hmm.
translate it properly, but yeah, it's kind of like it determines the direction of your next year. So, for
Hmm.
example, your piece of paper may say you're going to win the lottery. So that means you're going to get into some money next year,
Yeah,
maybe. I
yeah.
don't know. It's all superstition, but it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun. It's
it's
one of those
fun.
fun things.
Yeah,
So banitsa is a must-have. When you make it to Bulgaria, banitsa is a must-have.
Juanita. Okay, okay. Well, I really appreciate you being on a guest on the podcast, Vanina. It's been a pleasure. We've learned so much on here, right? About blockchain, about digital marketing, about how they're correlating. We learned about crypto wallets, right? We learned about what you're doing at Ambire. I mean, this is an amazing podcast. I mean, if you're an audience, you need to listen to the full thing because we've done a lot of education on blockchain and the way the world is going with that, especially with crypto wallets and the problems that are going on with crypto wallets and how Ambire is solving them. Um, Again, audience, thank you as always for being on the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. I'm your host, Dapper Data. Where can they reach you at, Vanina? And is there anything that you want to share or that you're promoting, like a book or anything like that?
Well, I'm promoting Ambire Wallet always. Just,
Amber.
come check it out. You can find us at ambire.com. And then if you want to follow me, you can do that on Twitter. My handle there is at inks, INKS. I'm that old that I have a four-letter Twitter handle. um, but yeah, you can also join the Ambire community chats on Telegram and Discord. I'm also there. There you can find me on LinkedIn. So if you wanna, very easy to find. I'm a very easy target for stalkers, and for people who and for people who want to just want to connect. But yeah, and I would like to thank you so much for having me on the podcast, Dapper Data. It has been a real pleasure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as everybody knows, you can reach me at Mr. Dapper Data on any one of the social media platforms. The link is always in the bio if you follow me. And also the book, definitely check out the book as well on being able to understand social media analytics. And I love you all, audience. Peace. See you next time.